Hello everyone, this is Ultimate Recapped here. In this video, I'm going to explain a Chinese fantasy comedy film called Hansen and the Beast, released in 2017. Don't waste your time, be ready for some spoilers ahead. The film starts with a naked man named Hansen, who tries to flee from an unknown creature. He tries to flee until he falls from the building, while a voiceover says that it is related to the mythical creature in the Yaojing world, and this everything has changed when his dad went on the blind date. After that, the movie cuts to 36 hours ago. Now, Hansen with a woman at the restaurant, while the woman is checking his credentials. The movie reveals that Hansen is a zoo caretaker, but his dream wants to invest money to make a film, and his father has a health problem, while his finance is also having the problem. He meets that woman because he wants to marry that woman's sister for the money, but he didn't want to be sexual. After hearing this, that woman starts to angry him and criticizes all his background, until Hansen decides to leave her. Meanwhile, that woman stops him and says, even though Hansen doesn't wed her sister, but he can give a good service to her sister and the money is well provided depending on the service. After hearing this, he starts to angrily shout at her, because she thinks he is a gigolo, so he leaves her. Later on, Hansen goes to his zoo, where is his workplace, while a beautiful girl watches him from the distance. There, the movie reveals the zoo will soon be closed. During walking to the zoo, Hansen has a feeling that having someone chased after him, but he didn't know who it, while we can know that beautiful girl chases after him. Later on, Hansen gets a message from a man, who helps him to get the blind date, but Hansen himself is never getting the partner. The next morning, Hansen gets a video call from his father, while his father tells him that Hansen has a duty to rescue the Earth. Immediately, a group of nurses goes to catch his father, which means his father is having a mental illness. After finishing the video call, Hansen goes to a cafe shop, where is the blind date place for the next partner. There, he meets a girl, who is observe him when he goes to the zoo. She tells him that she names Bai, and she told him she is a fox and shows some of the weirds like drinking the water from a fish tank. Meanwhile, a group of men arrived there, causing Hansen didn't pay attention to her and flees into the bathroom. Unfortunately, the men spot him and chase after him until they catch him away from the cafe shop. After that, the group of men takes him to a place, and we can learn that Hansen is in debt to those men. Meanwhile, a cruel man, who cuts his one finger to threaten Hansen, and they claim that this is what he should be getting if he still tries to flee from the debt. Later that night, Hansen is in his workplace, but he is approached by Bai, who asks him why he leaves her from the cafe shop. Hansen thinks she is a group of that men, so he says he will be paying the money for his debt, but Bai says she is just a fox. After hearing this, Hansen thinks she is crazy, but Bai says that Hansen used to save her life when she was a child. Hansen remembers it, but what is weird is he didn't help the girl, but it is a fox. Meanwhile, two of the gangster observes Hansen outside the zoo because they didn't want Hansen to flee from the debt again. Inside, Hansen still didn't believe Bai, until she wants to transform herself into the fox, but it doesn't work. Immediately, she requests some alcohol, because she realizes that is the only alcohol that can help her into the fox form. After she drinks some of the alcohol, her body starts to weird until her body totally complete into the fox, causing Hansen to freak. She then wants to touch Hansen, but instead, she rips his clothes because she is drunk. Immediately, Hansen thinks she wants to eat him, so he hurries to flee like the scene when the movie starts. Elsewhere in the city, the demon HQ, getting the news of Bai after she transforms herself into the monster, so they must go to catch her because the transforming in the human world is illegal. Cut to Hansen, he tries to escape from her until meets some of the people, but nobody helps him because they scary the fox eat them. Soon, Hansen runs into a building, as the demon agents have also arrived. Upon the building, Hansen calms down because he sees her eyes and he wants to touch her, but immediately, she vomited causing him to freak and fall from the building. Fortunately, the demon agent captain arrives in time and takes Hansen before he crashes to the land. Because they helped the human, so they take a photo with Hansen as well, but Hansen didn't know because he was unconscious. After that, the demon manager released many of the balls but can fly like a drone, to make the people who see this happen to forget everything. After that, Bai transforms her body into the human form, while we can learn that she has communication with the group of demon agents. She then tells them that she wants to marry Hansen, but the captain didn't allow her because it is illegal. After that, she requests them to heal Hansen's wound instead, and she agrees to go home with them. After that, the captain takes her on his back, but she vomited at him before leaving Hansen. The next morning, Hansen without the clothes wakes up on the street, while many of the people take photos of him. He then took a white gown to wear, while we can learn he was so ashamed. 6 hours later, at the zoo, the gangster finds him in his workplace. The gangster gives him a last chance and uses the threat like before, but Hansen starts to panic because remembers all this. It reveals that the gangster forgets everything after the demon agents use the ball to make them forget, but Hansen didn't forget it. Immediately, Bai arrived there and says sorry to Hansen about last night because she is drunk. The gangster didn't care about their talking and wanted to hurt Hansen, until Bai transforms her face into the fox demon, causing the gangs and Hansen to flee there. Because Bai is illegally transforming again, it was alerted to the demon HQ, causing the demon agents must using the balls to make the witness forget again. One of the demon agents asks the captain what he will do if Bai still does like this, and the captain says he already has a plan. Later on, the ball that is released to make the witness forget is almost touching Hansen, but Bai stops it and explains everything to him. She says she will not eat him, but she just wants to marry him because she loves him. Hansen then knows he cannot stop her, so he uses a trick to throw a stick away and thinks she will bite it like a dog, making he has a chance to flee, but it doesn't work. Meanwhile, at the demon HQ, the commissioner arrived, after learning Bai is illegal to transform, but she didn't get the sentencing. In addition, the commissioner warns them that Bai is a rare silver fox, so she must not be polluted by the humans. The captain promises to the commissioner to catch Bai back, but meanwhile, an agent, who talking when the commissioner says, so he starts to furious. The commissioner catches her and injects her with a serum, causing her to start to crazy, before shooting her to transform into a cat. Cut to Hansen. Now he goes to taking another blind date with the rich woman like normal. Meanwhile, Bai approaches him in there and tells those women that Hansen is her husband. After hearing this, the rich women leave Hansen, so he starts to shout at Bai because she messing with his money plan. He says he needs money for payment to his debt, and for his father's ill, but Bai didn't listen to him and leaves there. After that, Hansen returns home, but on the way, he meets a group of demon commissioners. The commissioner learns that Hansen was interrupted by Bai, so he wants Hansen to help him to catch Bai. The commissioner then gives him a serum to inject Bai, and if Hansen was the success, the commissioner with providing him many of money to pay the debt. Later on, Hansen meets Bai again, and now she becomes a scavenger because she wants to help him for paying his debt. Bai tells him that even though the money that she gets it doesn't enough for him to pay for the debt, but at least, he didn't marry another woman. During talking, Hansen gets a message from the commissioner, who pays some of the money in his account. It reminds him about his deal, while he almost inject Bai with the serum, but he didn't do it. After that, Hansen tells her that his debt is caused by wants to make a film, but it fails, and his father starts the illness after knowing this. Bai says that she is his fan and she will support him even though no one supports him. Later, Bai goes to a nightclub to find a job because she wants to help Hansen to pay the debt. A little later, Hansen sees Bai's clothes in the nightclub, so he realizes that she is surely in there. Meanwhile, the commissioner tracks Bai until there as well. Fortunately, Hansen found her before the commissioner arrives and leads her to escape. Hansen then blames her because of the money she agrees to get this work. In addition, he shows her the serum that the commissioner gives him to catch her, and threatens that, if she dares to do like this again, he will inject her and give her to the commissioner. Immediately, she suggests he inject her because, after she is captive, Hansen will get the money for paying his debt. Hearing this, Hansen is so excited and walks to nearly her and kisses her by the love. After that, Hansen takes her to his house while she cuts their palms to claim that now they are already married. In addition, she threatens him must be having her as the only fan, and only love her, before they go to the bed for the first night. Cut to the commissioner. He meets a woman in the nightclub, as she reveals that she didn't the humans but she is a butterfly demon. The commissioner instructs her to say, the human forces her to serve, but she rejects him because this can make the conflict between humans and the demons. She then wants to kill the commissioner but she gets killed instead, and then the commissioner makes a framing like the human in the club killed her. He does like this because the commission is an individual, who hates humans so much. Cut at the zoo. Hansen is sleeping after having the first night with Bai, while Bai gets the phone call from Hansen's father as well. A little later, the commissioner tracks down Bai until arrives at the zoo. The commissioner blames her after knowing she was married to a human. The commissioner is almost getting her, but meanwhile, the captain also arrived and claimed he wants to catch her by himself. The captain walks nearly and blames her for some of her faults before he whispers to her to push him to make her chance to escape. It is working. While the demon agents try to catch her, unfortunately, the captain was shooted and turns into a cat. Soon, the fighting is stopped after the commissioner threatened her to kill Hansen. Bai then almost takes herself to them, but meanwhile, the gangster arrives, who thinks now they are making the cosplay event. The gangster tells them to stop the cosplay event, but the commissioner beats him, causing Bai to have a chance to escape. Immediately, she was shot by the gun and turns into real form. However, she takes Hansen to flee, while the commissioner agents are still chasing after them. Soon, the two runs into Chinatown, where the actor making filming. The two rest for a moment, but one of the arrows shot at Bai's body, causing she was injuries and turns into a human shape. Seeing this, Hansen takes her on his back, while she tells him to call her friend for help, who is a famous actor in Chinatown. Soon, Bai's friend arrives and she takes them into her vehicle. After that, Bai's friend painted some of the herbs on Bai's wound, and then the wound is healed. The commissioner and his agents then go to find Bai, but what they get is nothing. No choice, the commissioner orders his agents to capture Hansen's father at the hospital to force Bai and Hansen to show up. Cut to the couple. Bai's friend suggests them to pretend to the actors because today, in the Chinatown having on filming. Bai's friend then makes up them and changes their clothes before going to film. Because the filming is related to the demon, so they must clothe like the demon. Meanwhile, the commissioner arrived in Chinatown and he also pretend to be an actor as well. Bai's friend then knows the commissioner arrives there, so she pretends to say many of the wrong lines for making the commissioner doesn't have the chance to catch Bai. Because of this, the director ordered Bai's friend to rest a moment, making the commissioner having a chance to find Bai because this is the battle scene. During messing, Bai orders Hansen to leave, but unfortunately, the commissioner threatens him to harm his father. A little later, Bai approaches Hansen and knowing now Hansen is no choice, and then she decides to inject the serum that the commissioner gives Hansen, and inject herself. She then appears to hurt so much, while Hansen can't help her and just only crying. 3 months later, Hansen now seems didn't have the feeling in his body after he loses Bai. He then goes to meet his father at the hospital and finds the video call that his father has recorded when he talking with Bai. Hansen then takes the phone with him, while we can learn that he misses her so much. He then goes to the zoo for restores his old memories with Bai, but he meets the captain. The captain beats him because Hansen says he loves Bai but he injects the serum at her. After the captain calms down, he tells Hansen now Bai is suffering, and the way to help her is nothing because she was strictly guarded. The captain then gives him to watch the news from the Yaojing world, which now, Bai is blaming from the demons in the Yaojing world. Hansen then gives an idea to bribe the guard, but the captain says, the Yaojing's world cannot do it. Hansen says, if he is the leader of the Yaojing world, he surely released her by himself. After hearing this, the captain gets an idea to help Bai by disguising Hansen's face to be the commission's face and sneaks into the Yaojing world to help Bai. After that, the captain and Hansen go to a small restaurant to disguise Hansen's face to become the commissioner. Later on, the captain and Hansen move to an elevator like the refrigerator which begins to move down. Afterward, it is turned like a rocket and led them into the Yaojing world. There, Hansen pretends to be the savage person and slabs a guard to demand Bai. Unfortunately, this guard is the real commissioner's brother-in-law, so the guard starts to suspect him. However, the captain tries to explain to the guard that his brother-in-law slaps him because of love. Because the guard is the dumb demon, so he believes in this and then he leads them to meet Bai. Inside the prison, Hansen goes to meet Bai in the cell alone while the captain waiting from outside. Inside, Hansen meets Bai, but she doesn't as her before, because now she becomes a savage demon. However, Hansen removes his disguise's face and reveals he is Hansen, but she still didn't remember him. Hansen then tells her about their past before he kisses her and it seems she is being calmed down. After that, Hansen takes her outside the prison, but unfortunately, the real commissioner arrived there, and the two face to face with each other. Hansen tries to hide his identity and claims he is the real until the commissioner shows his wings causing Hansen didn't do anything. During that time, Bai escapes herself from the jacket, and she attacks Hansen causing his fake face to reveal. The commissioner takes the camera to live this action to the whole world of Yaojing world to see and claims the human always makes the demon to suffering. He almost kills Hansen, but meanwhile, a group of gangsters is out from the ground, making everybody keep their eyes on them. It reveals that the group of the gangs was taken by accident in Chinatown after the Yaojing's forces catch Bai to the prison, and the Yaojing's force sees them in the clothes like the demon, so Yaojing's force also caught them too. In this messing, the commissioner tries to explain to the camera, but one of the gang starts to panic and pulls the prison's lever, causing all the prisoners to be released. The prisoner starts to attack the guard, and Hansen takes Bai to a safe place. The commissioner has flown and also attempts to attack the prisoners, but the captain pulls him down, causing all the prisoners to attack him. After fights a moment, the commissioner wiped out the prisoner, and he wants to kill Bai, but Hansen deputies his body instead of her. Seeing this, Bai remembers everything that she used to make with Hansen, causing her to back to normal. Now, she is so angry with the commissioner because he stabs her husband, so she catches the commissioner and throws him away from the building. Later on, Bai thinks Hansen is dying, so she shows her love for him, but Hansen says if she continues to talk he will die. What she should do is call the ambulance. At the end of the movie, the commissioner was captured because he is crazy and killed the prisoner so cruelly. The captain declares that the loves of the demon and the human are allowed. Hansen and Bai now have a baby, and Hansen decides to live with her in the Yaojing world, and their kid is named Destiny. Okay, thank you to everyone that watched my video until the end. If you enjoy my video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. From the Ultimate Recap, see you in the next video.